Welcome to Sustainable Purchasing with Biobased Products. My name is Ron Buchwald. I'm the former manager of the USDA BioPreferred Program, and I now support the program under contract with Integrated Management Strategies. I'm a retired Fed and left the program in 2016 and left USDA. With me today, I have Liz Lewis, our chat moderator, and she'll help me in answering questions. And we're going to have plenty of time for questions, so we welcome your thoughts, please. If the purchase card holders you manage have particular buying areas of emphasis, tell us that in the chat, and we'll try to address specific buying areas. One of the things we want to do is make sure that we're bringing products into the program that the federal government could use. Most people only remember three things about a speech or otherwise presentation. Let's just make this simple. First, you're going to learn what a bio-based product is, why you should purchase bio-based products, and resources for locating those bio-based products. You see a lot of other objectives there, but if we come away with those three, we're doing real well. First, let's look at that definition. The definition of a bio-based product is a product composed of recent biological components, agricultural, forestry, and marine materials. Also includes some chemicals. The legislative definition for bio-based products does not include food, feed, or fuel. You see all the products on the screen there, and we'll talk about those just a little bit. We've got a bio-based dishwashing pods. You can find that all over the place. But this particular one is from a company in Wisconsin. We got some Smile coffee pods from a Connecticut company. The pods and the packaging for the pods are bio-based. Drainbow out of California makes a series of bio-based drain cleaners and treatments for septic systems. Duxsorb out of California makes a series of various types of sorbents for spills. And we also have some bio-based binders up there, which are made with bioplastic. You do not have to use petroleum to make plastic, folks. I think we're learning that so much of the plastic is still in the environment. So those are just a couple of ideas of some of the products that are out there in the marketplace right now. And these are not some of the heavier industrial products. These are pretty common, quite frankly. Since food and feed are not included in the program, I'd like to take a real quick look at what we're showing you there. These examples of these are all bio-based products, but are they part of this program? We've got some lettuce there. We're going to show you some carpet squares. We got some cows feeding. We have a greenhouse with plants and the holders of the plants. Some doggy bags and from a company called Bioseri. It's a European company, a bio-based toy stacker. So lettuce, that's food. Doesn't fit. Carpet squares, the carpet does fit. Carpet, when this program was first put in place, we only had the backing was made of bio-based product material, soybean oil. Now the face is also made from bio-based. There's a company up in DuPont, has a product called Sorona up in Delaware. That's the face. And then we have the cows eating and food and feed. We're not part of it. Number 4, we have the baskets there with the flowers. The flowers, although they're bio-based in the bigger sense, that's not part of this program. It's the baskets that are actually could be included. And we have the poop bags, and those are bio-based, and they will compost, and that's a good thing. So, and Bioseri, of course, has a toy stacker there in the last slide. And one of the things about Bioseri, if the kids are playing outside, leave them outside, and they get rained on again, time and time again, they will be damaged and they will eventually disappear. So just a word to the wise on that one. The BioPreferred Program is part of the 2002 Farm Bill. It addressed the cyclical nature of agriculture and created the BioPreferred Program. These goals of the program include helping develop new markets for agricultural commodities by harnessing the purchasing power of the federal government through federal procurement preference for bio-based products. Congress also put in place a voluntary labeling initiative to identify bio-based products, thus encouraging purchasers to buy USDA certified bio-based products. A word about certified and qualified. Qualified are products that have gone through a process and are now part of the federal purchasing side of the program. The certified bio-based products, what we're always certifying is to their bio-based content. So there are two different sides of the program, but they will eventually be one side. And we think that's going to happen, hopefully very, very soon. The regulations are being put through to change the program around a little bit, so it'll make it a little easier to participate. Consumer demand is being driven by the desire to buy and use renewable, environmentally friendly products. I think we all know that. So federal agencies and their contractors are required to give preference to bio-based products in categories designated. That was a word I used a minute ago, the designated by USDA. To date, the BioPreferred program has designated 139 categories of products for preferred purchasing. And there was a whole process we had to go through to get that done. It took, at one point, perhaps 2 years to get a set of products in, and always had 2 or 3 different rules in the pipeline at the same time. It was a mess, quite frankly, going through the process of designating products for federal purchase. The wordle at the right indicates a few of the buying areas and categories included in available purchasing preference. The list of designated categories is available on the USDA website. And I'll take a look at that slide there. The actual bio-based content of the product is listed on the label. As the FP indicates, the product qualifies for federal purchasing. 7th generation, which has now been bought out by a Fortune 100. A company dedicated to sustainability has over 50 products in the program, most of them USDA certified bio-based products. Purchase card holders may find this label helpful in identifying bio-based products and in ensuring the product qualifies for federal purchasing. As I indicated, we're going to be going through the process. We are going through the process right now of having new regulations that will enable us to combine the two sides of the program into one, and basically a qualified product. There'll also be a certified product, so one and the same, so we won't have this bifurcated program any longer. Why has this program received bipartisan support since its inception in 2002? It was really Tom Harkin, Senator Tom Harkin of Iowa was the one that was the mover and shaker behind it. It's been expanded in subsequent farm bills, and they're currently talking about a farm bill on the Hill right now. Maybe by the time this airs, they will have gotten it through. Well, probably not. Congress usually gets the farm bill through in December 31st or something like that. And anyway, bio-based products purchasing provides demonstrable benefits to the U.S. economy and to U.S. jobs. These products also provide benefits to the environment and to home and workplace safety. In addition, these bio-based products encourage innovation. Take a quick look at some of these stats on the screen there. This is from a study that USDA did. We've done 3 of them so far, and we have another one in process. This is more a history than it is fact right now. I mean, it's all true, but it took us 2 years to get this through the process, to get it actually released. We went from one administration to another administration, so sometimes the wheels of government move very slowly. In any event, there's 4.6 million jobs in the U.S. related to bio-based products. The impact on the economy is $470 billion, nearly half a trillion. And there's a multiplier effect of 1.79 for every job that's created, direct job that's created by the bio-based program. There's another 1.79 jobs created as part of the process. One of the things that has happened over the last years is the supply chain issues with bio-based products. If we're making them and we're growing plants in the U.S., we're making products in the U.S., we're not stuck with that supply chain issue. So that's another good reason to look at using a bio-based product. So let's talk about some of these numbers that are also on the screen here. First off, see the logo there. We'll talk about that for a second. This is the 20th anniversary of the program. Actually, last year was 2002, and this is 2023. So we are into the program 20 years now, and just beginning to really get our feet on the ground and get going. We have 2,100 companies participating in the program right now, 49 states, some multinational companies, small businesses. 7,900 products qualify for federal purchasing, and 6,800 products have received the certified product label. Now that's going to probably double the number of products that are available for federal purchasing, and also will have the label at some point. So that's work down the road, but I think it's certainly going to be something to look for. There are 52 countries participating in the BioPreferred program. And we just recently had some correspondence from our good friends in Canada. They're thinking about starting a program very, very similar to the USDA BioPreferred program. The program's had a lot of homes inside USDA, and this is I think the final home. It's been in the Office of Energy Policy and Uses, administrative offices of USDA, and now it's in rural development. And we think that's a good place to be, because that's where we support successful farms and farmers. And one of the ways we support the critical food supply is creating new markets for agricultural materials and agricultural waste. However, you can't really call what I'm about to talk about totally waste. After the corn has been harvested, the corn stalks, they're high in fiber, can be used to create new bio-based products. The reasons that it's not total waste is that every so often you have to till that back into the soil to increase the soil tilt. So we can't take the corn stover every year. We have to kind of look at plowing it back into the ground on a regular basis. But in any event, it does give farmers something else they can sell. So by ensuring farmers are able to have multiple markets for their products, we help them to ensure that the farmers thrive and that our food supply meets our needs. And often these bio-based products are manufactured near the source of the agricultural materials used to make the products, creating jobs in rural America. That's what we call creating jobs near the farm gate. Plants certainly have the potential to save the planet through the process of photosynthesis. They remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and reversing the buildup from burning fossil fuels, which is causing climate heating. If you go back and take a look at the way past, eons and eons ago, basically the Earth had a higher level of oxygen when it had all the green products growing, and those green products captured carbon from the atmosphere. They stored it, and now they were buried beneath the ground in the form of oil and coals, which are old carbon. We're talking about new carbon. We're talking about something that's recent, created this year or within the last 50 years. That's the kind of carbon we're talking about. So it's not reducing carbon per se. What we're doing is we're using renewable carbon, new carbon, and we're not using old carbon. In any event, soils and the plants that grow in them absorb about a third of the carbon emissions that drive the climate crisis. So if we have lots of green plants growing, we can reduce the old carbon emissions by 1/3. And this will limit somewhat the impact of fossil fuel burning. It's very logical then, if these products are made from plants, to help the CO2 levels in the atmosphere, particularly when compared to their fossil fuel equivalents, which increase harmful emissions. So now you understand how that all works out: new carbon versus old carbon. Let's talk a little bit now about some of the real environmental benefits of bio-based products. We can avoid using petroleum if we use bio-based products. Right now, petroleum avoided by using bio-based products amounts to a savings of up to 9.4 million barrels of oil annually. That's the equivalent of taking about 200,000 cars off the road. And with proper disposal, bio-based products can offer more than 65% greenhouse emission savings. We talked about 1/3 a moment ago, but it can be up as high as 65%. And this is a European study. The Plant-Based Products Council had a complex question to answer to this question, and they talk about how this all works. And you really need to understand the importance of why bio-based products are preferable over their petroleum-based counterparts or coal-based counterparts. Bio-based alternatives are made from plants, which remove existing carbon from the atmosphere and decrease the overall levels of carbon in the atmosphere. The only energy they use is the sun's energy. And once harvested, manufacturers of bio-based alternatives can sometimes generate their own power, even carbon neutral biofuels. Fossil fuel extraction and petroleum or petrochemical production often utilize fossil fuels to power their operations. Producers of bio-based products are also constantly working to reduce water use. Meanwhile, many fossil-based products are made using natural gas, which is extracted through fracking, a controversial and water-intensive process. And fertilizers are created using natural gas. So we can also have natural fertilizers, not natural gas-based fertilizers. About 79% of all the plastic ever produced is currently in landfill or the environment. Compare that to most bio-based plastics and packaging. More often than not are either biodegradable, which is one thing, or compostable, and they're often confused. And if you've got time, you'll get a lecture from that from a good friend of ours out at Michigan State University, Dr. Romney Narayan, and he'll take you through that. And 30 minutes later, you will understand exactly what the process is. So bio-based products in the environment, we talked about the bad products, the petroleum-based products that are in the environment. Well, bio-based products in the environment can actually have other environmental benefits. The enzymes in laundry detergent allow cold water wash and can reduce energy costs by 30%. Another way that you can have some savings at home and do good for the environment. You got bio-based deicers, can replace salt-based deicers, which are harmful to plants, wildlife, and to my car, quite frankly. Bio-based plasticizers may replace harmful BPAs and disposable plastics. We've heard a lot about the BPAs, and it can be replaced. I spoke to a group down in South Carolina a number of years back, and they were really trying to do all they could to reuse bio-based plasticizers, a plastics group. Bio-based agricultural waste and bacteria are being used to create chemical-free fertilizers. So necessary to remove waste at the farm to use some of those biological resources, and that'll solve the problem of sanitation, the sanitation hazard. So a lot of things going on with bio-based products, just a few of the things that are happening right now. A little bit more about health and safety. The EPA study identified the need to decrease the use of hazardous substances in cleanings. When USDA switched to bio-based products and conducted a study of results, they found that there were fewer sick days for cleaning staff, fewer rashes, and breathing issues for cleaning staff, and a positive result from building occupants. I actually worked in the South building when we were implementing the process of putting in those green cleaning products from USDA, and I guess folks will be back, if not now, very soon back in those office buildings. So we want to make sure we clean them again with bio-based products, green cleaning products. Innovation is something that is encouraged by bio-based products. You're always looking for the next big thing, the next idea that you can make a buck on. But by the same token, because there's a green movement, sometimes we're looking for things that consumers actually want to buy, not just because they need it, but because they want it, some of the greener products. Well, some of the things that you see there in the pictures, you've got a New Gen Surgical. They have 5 bio-based products during the program. We have a Norwex USA, a cutting board from rice husk. We talked about corn stover or rice husk or another one, but rice husk can be taken off every year. Barron Leather Pure Products are bio-based alternative. That's from Georgia. That's not leather, but it's a fall leather. The Vanguard helmet there, it's made from sugarcane. That's made in Pennsylvania. It's just like it were a polymer made from petroleum. So it does the same thing, works the same way, resist bumping your head the same way. So these are just some things that are out there in the marketplace that are kind of a little strange maybe, but that's innovation. That's making life better for all of us. You can find a lot of products in retail stores. Part of the reason that the label is out there, it allows us to bring industrial products, bio-based industrial products, to the consumers, and they're in retail stores. So that's the label that you'll see, and that's the reason for that, is to have a consumer identified label. And USDA's label is very trusted. So USDA certified bio-based product. Some of the ones that you can find, the examples, we have Skillcraft products. We have carpet cleaner at Walmart. Target has some cleaners. Office Depot has a Skillcraft bioplastic rolling mat. A laundry detergent from Kroger. That's their private brand, Simple Choice. Lowe's has a biochar soil conditioner, Purell bio-based hand sanitizer. You can find that everywhere, literally. That one just happens to be from CVS, but coffee filters are another thing that you can find that you don't want to put in the environment. These are unbleached coffee filters, incidentally. So some more products let's talk about for a moment here, if you bear with me. We'll take a look at these particular products. Granger Supply has a degreaser. You can find some lithium grease in Amazon. Ridex, that's used in the septic system to make sure it continues to work well. You can find that on eBay. Chair mat and Overstock. Of course, we also just a moment ago saw that the Lighthouse for the Blind also makes that product, the Italy one. Firearm cleaners, you can find those at Walmart. Hydraulic fluid, Zorro. Gojo hand cleaner, that's MSC Industrial Supplies. And MSC Industrial Supplies also distributes that hard hat, which you saw just a moment ago. GSA Advantage. Yes, you could find bio-based products on GSA Advantage. GSA offers many referred to as an environmental aisle. You can limit your search to bio-based products by checking the BioPreferred items box. In this particular example, the customer is seeking bio-based hand sanitizers. As I indicated earlier, GSA Advantage offers many bio-based products for purchase, as does Global Supply and DoD's FedMall. You can also check two boxes by purchasing bio-based products from Ability One, since both are mandatory purchasing programs. Ability One provides products that are processed by people with vision issues, for those of you who are not familiar with Ability One and the Lighthouse for the Blind. And I have visited a number of those sites across the country, and those folks are hard workers, quite frankly, and Ability One is one of our real big supporters in terms of bringing new products that are bio-based into the marketplace. There are many bio-based products for fleet. Here we see two types of motor oils, a rust remover, a lubricant, a degreaser. There are other products such as automotive cleaning products. DoD's Sustainable Product Center tested bio-based motor oils, and we thank them for that. It was a great test. This is a quote from that test. The bio-based engine oils met the identified performance requirements in the demonstration vehicles with no reported vehicle engine operation or performance issues. The performance of the bio-based motor oils was comparable to full synthetic petroleum-based motor oils used in the baseline demonstration vehicles. So now we get a national stock number for bio-based motor oils. Note that we had a National Bio-Based Products Day, October 8th. It was well attended. We had lots and lots of folks participating. The first time we ever done anything exactly like that, but it will be an annual event. We're going to, just like the county fair, it's going to get bigger and better every year. This is on the USDA's BioPreferred website. You'll know there's a tab there to access the 139 categories of products for which there's a purchasing preference. And I've also mentioned our catalog. This is the homepage, biopreferred.gov. There are many resources, list of designated products, categories, the catalog, other resources. The BioPreferred Program catalog, which I mentioned, is a resource for locating bio-based products. You cannot purchase products directly from this catalog, but it provides product information, company information, the bio-based content of the product, and gives you the website and other contact information, so you can go then to the company and find out more about their product and purchase it directly from them, or have your contractor purchase it from them. You can use your menu on the screen or the open-ended search function. Just a quick view of what you can find there. This particular catalog that you see, this entry here, is for a hydraulic fluid. Manufacturers can include the national stock number, the ASTM standards, or other standards, things that are available through the Federal Supply Catalog, the absence of PFAS, or whether products qualify for Buy American. But we don't have the authority to mandate that these companies do this sort of stuff, but quite frankly, it's in their best interest to put as many good qualifiers around their product as possible when they're listing it. We're seeing a greater and greater use of more and more of these type of green features. So we're very gratified about that, and think that's going to continue and will continue to grow. Biobuzz.gov. Sign up for the newsletter. It really has everything in it, and I think you'll really enjoy it. We try to keep it fresh and have lots of fun stuff in there. So please, if you will, sign up for biobuzz.gov. Just go to the BioPreferred.gov homepage and you can sign up, and you'll get monthly. We won't overwhelm you with more than once a month. We're getting toward the end, folks. I've been talking a lot, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions to see how you're feeling and see if you want to participate here and with us. And a little quiz there. Why am I required to use my purchase card to buy bio-based products? The federal acquisition regulation, that's A. B, the 2002 Farm Bill. C, there are no requirements to buy these products. Or the federal acquisition regulation and the 2002 Farm Bill. I think you know the answer to that. Of course, it's both those, the 2002 Farm Bill and federal acquisition regulations, but you should be buying them not because it's required by law, but because it's the right thing to do, quite frankly, to be able to replace some of the petroleum-based products with some products that are made from renewable bio-based materials. And let's see, I have a little more quiz here for you. Now, where can bio-based products be found and purchased? Local hardware store, USDA BioPreferred catalog, online retailers as Amazon and Granger, all of the above. Well, B is kind of a tricky part there. You can find the product in the BioPreferred catalog, but you can't purchase it there. So we hope that you will begin to look for the label and look at bio-based products whenever you're shopping. And not just buying for the federal government, buying for yourself. So let's take a look at polysorb. Is this category a designated product for federal purchasing? Yes, no, or I really can't tell. Take a real hard look at that sun, sea, and land. That see the FP underneath it, the small FP? That's the federal preference. So yes, indeed, this is a product that's available and should be purchased. One of the 139 categories are purchased by the federal employees. What about the future? Well, I think bio-based products have just come into their own. Actually, it's a resurgence. It's a trip to the past until we discovered petroleum up in Titusville, Pennsylvania, right around the Civil War. Most of our industrial products were made from agricultural and farm materials. The greases that they used to put the rifles in back in those days were not petroleum based, that they were stacking to keep from rusting. They were actually made from animal fat. So yeah, it's been around for a long time. Some of the first paints were actually milk casein with a white paint, for instance. So this is part of the past, but it's also part of the future. Hopefully that you'll be anticipating and making that future even better. Sales is what this slide is all about. Makes a bio-based payment card that has earned the USDA certified bio-based products label. It's 78% bio-based. Perhaps your charge card, your GSA card, will be the card of the future. It does come back to you and me. We can all play a role in purchasing bio-based products at work, of course, through the federal purchasing programs, and at home. These are just some examples of the things we have seen along the way and some of the products that are in the program. And if you see something in a hardware store, in the grocery store, that has the USDA certified bio-based products label, take a picture of it, send it to us, let us see it, let us know that you did indeed buy that product, and we would love to feature that somewhere in one of our newsletters, perhaps, so one of the BioBuzz newsletters, and tell us about yourself and where you found the product. So And by the same token, if you have a product that you think the federal government needs to buy and they're using a petroleum-based product right now and a bio-based product would be better, let us know. I mean, very seriously, biopreferred.gov is how you reach us. So do that, please. Just in summary, together, we can support the U.S. economy, U.S. jobs, farmers, rural America, and have a healthier planet. So this is not just a program to benefit agriculture, it's a benefit everybody. It was created, of course, to help utilize some of those excess commodities, but we found along the way, it was very, very good for the environment to use bio-based products. And the longer we stay at it, the more we learn and the bigger the program grows. That's our presentation. We hope you've gotten something from it. You hope that you will take it to heart and really begin to think about how you can participate and become part of the process, both at the federal level and in your own life. And we'll be pleased to take your questions. Ordinarily, I have a slide here, but it just did not make this present. I'll tell you how you can reach us. Vernell Thompson, VERNELL.Thompson at USDA.gov is a good contact for you. And you can find me at ron.buckhalt at im-stat.com. Integrated Management Strategies. So we're supporting the BioPreferred program. So please enter your questions in the chat box. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And Les, do we have any questions from our folks in the chat box? And I'll keep talking here to make sure we do have enough time to get those questions up in the chat box. Again, it's been a pleasure sharing with you our real interest in bio-based products. And I have to tell you that I've been involved most of my adult life with the bio-based products program, and I never knew about it until I came to USDA and we got the thing started in 2002. So yeah, there's time to teach a dog new tricks or lead a horse to water and make it drink. So thank you again for your time. We appreciate your time, and we hope that we hear from you. And if you got a question, please send those in to us right now. Thank you so much for your time.